Good morning, currency kings and queens. It is Tuesday, December the 12th, 2023, and we haven't had Forex and coffee in a while, so I wanted to do some Forex and coffee with a little bit of chart analysis. Make sure if you're not subscribed to my channel, you're subscribed, and if you like this video, be sure and hit that like button and turn your notification bells on. Let's get right into the charts. So as you all know, the first thing that you want to do, I don't know if y'all are beginners or you're well-seasoned traders, but you want to always check the news. You want to check the news for the day that you're trading so that you know if there are any red or orange folder news, so you're not caught off guard or by surprise. As we know in the Forex industry, sometimes we get surprises and don't know it. Sorry, y'all, my voice seems like it's trying to wake up, but it's not woke. So let's get into the charts. And first, the news. Like I said, today is December the 12th. So on your GBP pairs, we have some red and orange folder news at 2 this morning, which is long gone. So we'll focus on the 8:30 a.m. news. There's 3 different folders for CPI at 8:30 a.m. So on market open, we want to really focus on just trying to watch the pairs if we trade any pairs that are affiliated with USD. So if you have any pairs or gold and some of the other indices and commodities that move when USD moves. So I have the things that I frequently trade here. And let's see. Just looking at GJ right now, y'all should be able to see something or notice something that I'm noticing. And it's awesome. So, okay. So let's just dig right in. I have GJ pulled up, which I didn't really expect. But can y'all see? Let me take the previous drawings down. We could put our volume on if you want. But let's go to the higher time frames. I'm going to go to the 4-hour currently. And the 4-hour looks like it's retracing from a downtrend. Let's see which EMA I have on, which is my 200 moving EMA. And it's on a downtrend. It has respected 200 EMA. So let's draw our support and resistance zones in, which is right there. That's a huge one. And then I'll take the volume off. So I kind of go in between taking volume off because it just makes my chart really busy. And I work better when I'm on a clear chart. This is the most recent low. So I'll mark that up. Probably in this area here. So I've got that marked up. And while it's on a downtrend, and you can tell because on GJ it broke below these areas here. It's respecting the 200 EMA, and we haven't used a fib in a while. Let's start up here, drawing our fib, and go into our lowest settings. So if we're on a downtrend, we're going to draw our fib all the way to the end of the wick here, or start at the beginning of the downtrend for the current move, and then we'll draw it to where it touches. When it goes up, as you can see, it went up above this area and back down. So it went to the 78, which is not bad. It's a strong pullback, but it went to the 78. And let's see where it goes. So GJ is a good one to watch today. because looking at it on the 15-minute chart, what it did is went up here. It's still respecting the 200 on the 1 hour, and it looks like it filled some imbalances. It does have a level of support here, and that's why when looking on the, I'm going to take the fib off just so our chart's a little bit cleaner. I don't know, y'all. It's something about having a clean chart. I just like having a clean chart. So this is the 4 hour that I marked up, and these are the little areas that I marked up that are points of interest. And then when we were on the 15-minute chart, we noticed this area here as soon as we jumped on the chart. And I will also change my 50 moving average to a lower moving average that I can focus on. So this zone here is what immediately jumped out at me because it seems to be respecting this zone. So on GJ, it looks like a downtrend. Could perhaps be a retracement. We just want to see where these areas go because we have our level of support here. But as you can see previously, it broke below that. So I'm calling this a downtrend because even on your 50 EMA on the higher time frames, it's trading below that. So we'll go with sales for today. But we want to pay close attention to these zones. Even though we're in sales at these special zones, the trend could reverse. So let's just be real mindful of that, especially on your lower time frames, because we have a lot of movement on our lower time frames. But if you jump up to the higher time frames, it kind of tells the story most of the time. And as we know, we can't predict the market, but we can have a general idea of what it's doing. And then when we have news, say the news at about 8:30, when it pushes, or if it pushes something that we're trading, we can wait for that to settle and then try to look for some entry and exit points if the trade setup is according to our plan. Remember, you're always going to practice proper risk management and always follow your plan. So that's what I've got on GJ. It has a lot of potential to move down to cover some of these areas and land at support, but we want to continue to watch it at these levels that could potentially reverse. I'm thinking of, this was a super strong resistance area that it broke through here, and then we got another one here. So just pay close attention to that. I'm assuming that it'll continue down to the area of support on the 4 hour, and then we may see some upward movement. But for right now on GJ, it's a wait and watch. Let's move to our next pair. The next pair I want to go over with you is UJ. I've kind of been a little fond of UJ here lately. It's not a pair that I typically trade, but the news on today could potentially affect UJ because it is the US dollar and the Japanese yen. So let's be mindful if you're trading UJ on today. And let's see what we got here. We are also on a downtrend, so we'll be looking for sales for the majority of it. So since we're looking for sales, we also are looking at supply zones in these areas. And see the consolidation or the ranging here in this area? I would just draw your box in that zone. So some people say, hey, just do the first candlestick. Let me show y'all how that could impact your trades. So some people say just use the first candlestick or the last candlestick before the downward movement. That would be this candle here. But look at the retracement of the trend. It doesn't touch your supply zone. So if you are smart, you would draw the box around the zone, so that if you're missing that one candlestick, because if you're not experienced in the market, it just may not go there, and you have to know when to get in, whether to get in, and how to exit something of this kind. But being that it is on a downtrend, and it is a pretty decent downtrend, especially on the 4-hour, let's mark up our support zones and resistance zones. One being here, and one being here. I'll draw like where all the candles are, the last spot that all the candles are touching, just for my protection. Sometimes I'll leave the wick out. It just depends on the actual trade, y'all. And as you get more and more experience in the market, you'll find out what works for you. There's no wrong or right way. It's whatever works for you. So on the 1 hour, we still have the trend. We have the double bottom that was here on the 1 hour. And as you can see, we had the trend retrace up from the double bottom here on the 1 hour in here. And it went up here, consolidated. It didn't break this resistance area. And then it proceeded to continue down. I trade on the 15 or 30 typically. Our current candle that is ending now is a very strong bearish candle. So looking at the full trend on the 15-minute chart, let me go here, y'all, and draw up my zones on my 1 hour. So there's a support area here that's pretty strong, and it broke below that. So we're going to our next area of influence. People call it points of interest. I call it points of influence, because it's going to influence whether you take or not take this trade, whether it's wait and watch or just totally divert away from it. So it's breaking below these strong areas. Usually a strong area is an area that I call that has support and resistance at it. And then I'll look at the lower time frames and also just see what's going on. I would have looked at this area here that it broke below, because it's pretty strong. And as we see, we are still on a downtrend. It broke below this area, y'all. So we have points of influence here in this area. Remember, we marked this up on the higher time frame in these areas. So we have some serious sales, and just like on the previous pair, we're going to look and see if at these points of interest, if the trend changes or continues, and that'll allow you to know whether or not you're going to continue your sales or change to buys, or just totally get out and leave it alone. So those are my two analyses this morning. We have some time. I may try to give you something on gold, but I looked at gold just a few minutes ago, and I mean, it's not doing anything significant enough for me to mention on this video. But stay tuned. Thank you for tuning in this morning, and I hope you have a great trading day.